Collective. Welcome to Intuitive Goddess Tarot 911. I'm Jenny. Welcome in or welcome back. Welcome in if you're new here. So I was called to do an intuitive reading tonight. So we are going to do that. But before we get started, I want to say Merry Christmas Eve to everybody who's in the States. And these readings are timeless. So whenever you're seeing it, even if it's like 4 months from now, it's meant for you. That just happened to me today. And then if it resonates, great. But if it doesn't, then just let it go. So I have to look on my phone because I can't remember everything. So the first intuitive download I got was, why am I fucking up so bad? What am I even doing? When am I ever going to learn what it is she already knows? So that's one. And then the next one is, when you see her, say a prayer and kiss your heart goodbye. She's trouble in a word, get closer to the fire. Run faster, her laughter burns you up inside. You're spinning round and round, you can't get up. You can try, but you can't. So the second one is a song from my childhood, Who's That Girl by Madonna. And then the other one is Chicago by Highly Suspect. It's from 2016. It's an amazing song. I mean, the band's amazing in general. I don't know if you've ever listened to them, but I would highly suggest it to listen to Highly Suspect. So we are going to get into it and see what we need to know about what is going on with you all. So I'm called to use the What's the Vibe deck first out of the gate. So we're going to see what's going on. And we might use the True Love Oracle deck too, because this really feels like it is a possible love reading. So let's just get going into it. So Holy Angels, Holy Spirits, what does the collective need to know about this person who's fucking up? And this, who's that girl? Epiphany. This girl had an epiphany. Self-reflection, answered questions, untapped talents. So whoever you are, again, cross watchers are welcome. Cross watchers are watching. Oh my gosh, that's so weird. So cross watchers are welcome. Let's get more here. Narcissist. This has been coming out every freaking reading. So somebody is dealing with a narcissist. Big surprise. There's a lot of them out there. All right, what else? So I feel like they love bombed you and you felt like you were giving back to them. But really what they were doing was gaining information on you so that they could weaponize communication. It seems like to me. That's just to me. I mean, and you had a glow up. So it looks like you are doing great. Maybe you have a new successful business. Maybe your job is just really successful. Either one, I salute you. But you are exhausted. And basically working from an empty cup. So maybe, all right, well, let's just get one more card. And then you were puzzled and conflicted because something must have happened. So let's see what we can find out about this, what happened. So what does the collective need to know about this epiphany and what they are dealing with? Storm warning, upheaval, obstacles, wrecking ball. Reminds me of that wrecking ball song. I'm not laughing at your, situation, but I'm a laugher. It's unfortunate. So maybe this narcissist had a one-night stand with somebody, or I feel energetically like this is a person who needs a lot of attention. So that maybe they hooked up with somebody. Maybe you know about it, maybe you don't. But I think they saw it as a fling, and they thought that, you know, you would never find out about it, and, you know, everything would just kind of go back to the way it was. But you used your intuition. Gut feeling, psychic. So I have a feeling you realize that this person was love bombing you. And that this is kind of what happened. What about glow up, Spirit? Divine intervention. So something happened. Even if you didn't know that you were headed down this path, something happened that was a catalyst to the ending, the burning down of this relationship. And I know I always say this, but if you don't end relationships when you are getting the sign from Spirit, of Spirit's like, hey, give you a little nudge, go. This isn't working for you. You need to get out of here. And then you still don't do anything about it. The universe will come in with a wrecking ball and wreck it for you. So that seems like is what happened. So what about you being exhausted? You have distanced yourself from this person either energetically or physically. What about puzzled? Signs and synchronicities. So you are following, you're following the subtle hints from the universe, which is very good. Let's get a couple more because this is very interesting. You thought this person was your soulmate. You may have thought that you were going to live together forever, which is really sad. But then something happened, and only you know what that is, what the event was that caused the ending to this whole situation, or maybe it hasn't happened yet. And also, I feel like they were financially using you. So that's another thing. All right, what else, Spirit? Yes, and they were wearing a mask. They would be the person who you wanted them to be on a temporary basis. And then whenever it was inconvenient for them to wear this mask, the mask would fall off, and then they would go back to being the disconnected person that they are. There's a What's the Vibe card deck or card in here, and it's not supposed to be in here, so we're going to grab it. Paranoid. So this person is very insecure that you are dealing with, especially if you've had a glow up, if you're a self-confident person, which most of us are. They don't like that about you. And because of your spiritual awakening, you're not dealing with it. You're like, no, please. Sorry. Keep it moving. What else? Regret. So I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of that coming up. And that's not for you to have to worry about. So we're going to grab a couple from my deck and just see if we can figure out if there's anything else we need to know before we pull tarot. But obviously this person fucked up in a major, major way, and seems like you're done. So let's pull from this deck. And you can't make it up. I mean, I shuffle these decks and shuffle these decks, so whatever is going to come out is just coming out. So whoever this is for, just let me know, because I do want to know what's going on. So what is going on with this person who was supposed to be the soulmate, who was financially using this person and was wearing a mask most of the time and was love bombing? They told you that this was what love was supposed to look like. Because they say, this is what love is. This is what it's supposed to look like for you. So here you are. This is your love. And it doesn't matter if you feel loved. That's what you're supposed to be feeling. You are here to awaken many souls in this lifetime. I do believe that, whoever you are. What else, Spirit? This card was going to fly out. Transmute all that negative energy. Yes, you can totally take everything bad from this relationship and turn it into something positive. Whether you do that through art, whether you channel, whether you write music, it doesn't really matter however you do it. You are divinely guided. Aquarius. What else, Spirit? And the universe is holding you in its hands. So yes, the universe is holding you in its hands, but the universe realized that you needed a tower moment. And I'm gonna, I don't mean to laugh, but when the cards line up with exactly what I'm saying and it comes out that way, it's like, it's just magical. So I'm gonna take a sip and we're gonna pull tarot. So, why is this coming out now, Spirit? What does the collective need to know about what is happening? They've had a glow up, a storm came. They thought they were going to be with a soulmate person, and then ruin. Mentor. So I feel like you could have had different religious beliefs than this person. And you were following your guides, which I always think you should. And I feel like you felt like if you worked hard enough, you imagined enough, you dreamed about this love that you were going to have with this person, this innocent thought that you were having, that it was going to happen. I think if you thought that if you poured out, you know, everything into this person, that you could make them do, you could make them be the person that you needed them to be and to love you. The devil. So you're dealing with someone controlling, obsessed with you, and not in a good way. What else, Spirit? I am not surprised that the devil came out. If the tower comes out, it's, you know, the world is just going to be complete. Knight of Coins. So I feel like you have embodied this energy, this cautious, grounded, patient energy. And I feel like you were waiting for this to be what you wanted it to be. But then you got the Three of Swords. Betrayal. This person must have done something major, because the cards don't lie, and you must have been very traumatized. Ten of Wands. But you felt like you had an obligation and a duty to this person. And that's why you stayed in. Oh, what else, Spirit? Temperance. So you stayed balanced, trying to be peaceful in this situation. But you were in a limbo state with this person. And you felt like you were sacrificing a lot of yourself to be in this situation with them. And so you let it go. What else, Spirit? Yeah, they had this Knight of Wands attitude that you were very attracted to. What about that, Spirit? Yeah, and you thought that you were going to be a team. You thought you were going to work together towards common goals and be a family. You thought you were soulmates. There it is again. What else about that, Spirit? Knight of Swords. The mask that they were wearing, you thought that they were fearless. They were very direct. They told you all their deepest, darkest secrets. What else, Spirit? But they were juggling you. 2 of Coins. What else? What else, Spirit? 2 of Swords. There was a lot of confusion a lot of the time. You feel like their heart was closed off to you. There was a lot of things that couldn't be explained in their behavior. Like the hot and cold, like being warm with you 1 minute and then being cold with you the next. It's probably because of the third party. 7 of Cups. But you hung in there because you were daydreaming about this life that you were going to have with this person. What else, Spirit? The Tower. And there we go. I knew it was going to come out. I could feel it. Yeah. So whatever this storm warning was, this catastrophic event, this I know I've said this before, but if the universe, like the story of the tower is the 2 people go on the tower, right? And they build this, well, they go into this space and they build this tower around themselves. And they're building basically a tower of delusion. So the tower is not real, but it is to them while they're in the tower. And then something happens and the tower falls down and the delusion is over. So I feel like this is what happened. So whatever this situation was, this divine intervention, maybe it was you having your glow up and your epiphany. I don't know the answers to the questions. Only you know the answers. But I mean, this is obviously where this is. So I'm sorry for you, whoever you are. Towers are not easy. They're not anything that anyone wants to go through. Ending of relationships is difficult, but a lot of times it's for our own goods. So let's get you an advice card. So Spirit, what does the collective need for advice in regards to this situation? This unfortunate situation? Perspective. You have many gifts. No problem can withstand the power of your mind. With patience, you can reach your mountaintop. Never give up and good luck. And then you got Swan, Grace. You who glides across the waters of my soul, bring your wisdom and light. Help me to transform into elegance and grace. Inspire me with dignity and the spirit of beauty. Yeah, so deal with this in the way that you need to. I'm not here to give you advice. And again, if this resonates and it's for you, then, you know, tarot is not an all-in-one inclusive advice center. You know what I mean? So if it's a useful guide to tell you what's going on and kind of what's happening. And I mean, it seems like if you're in this situation, you already know what's happening. So I don't have to tell you what's happening. But tarot is just a confirmation, kind of, I guess, is all I'm trying to say. So, and don't get hung up on the Aquarius. I know I've said this before, but signs can be anywhere in someone's chart. So it doesn't necessarily have to mean that they are directly, you know, that person. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. I've been being called all day to do it, but I was just busy. I had to work today. So anyway, happy Christmas Eve again. And I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for your likes, your shares, your subscribes, the video. Well, maybe this video will do well, but the channel is doing well. So, Let me know if this resonates, but I love you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas, and I'll see you soon. Bye.